Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Red Devil Experience. How you all doing? Glad to be back. Good to be back. A lot of news we haven't covered. Didn't get a chance. Hope everybody is doing well. We all live. Just checking. We all live, and everything is good. I hope everybody's been very, very good. As you can see up on the screen here, next to me is a quote from Erik ten HAG that he did with Gary Neville. There's a lot of quotes out of here that we're gonna discuss, and we're gonna go through. Plus, we have player transfer updates, the latest player transfer updates from today and yesterday. We're gonna discuss those as well. Real quick, smash the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications so you know when we go live. And it's good to be back. Glad to be back. Let's get into these discussions ASAP. Just making sure that the live is okay. It's looking okay. Is the sound? The sound is good. Okay. All right. So we are going to talk about this right here. So during the interview with Gary Neville, Erik ten HAG was asked by Gary Neville if he had a message for the fans. And ten HAG responded by saying, "A message for the fans. We are equally disappointed. We are also frustrated. We are all in the same boat. But even this season, we have shown that we can reach a high level, that we could compete with the best." Um, And I think these things are very important. I actually very much enjoyed the interview that he did with Gary Neville. Number one, ex player, ex legend of the club. Gary Neville has a lot of things to say. Obviously he's on Sky Sports. He's a pundit. Um, him, Jamie Carragher, they're very well tracked. A lot of things they say, a lot of people pay attention to it. And I think this is important when somebody like Gary, who heavily criticizes the manager of the team, and a lot of the times he has very valid points. Sometimes he says things that are questionable, but that's everybody in life. Um, I think it's important that Erik ten HAG, or the manager of Manchester United, can have some sort of a long form discussion about these things. I liked this interview way more than when he does press conferences. Press conferences, it's too short. You have to give a quick answer. There's a lot of different questions, and it just doesn't allow you to properly explain yourself. And I thoroughly enjoyed this interview because it's in a long form. It allows Erik ten HAG to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more open. It allows him to explain things a little bit more clearer to the fans. I mean, there was a lot of things that came out in this. The fact that he did want Kane, they went for Kane, didn't get Kane. That he did want De Jong, went for De Jong, didn't get De Jong. I mean, we pretty much speculated this, but this is confirmed and came out of the manager's mouth, which is very, very important. The likes of the injuries and all that stuff, which we're gonna get on to because I do have this up on the screen over here. So I'm just gonna get that real quick and we will dive right into that. So here are ten HAG's quotes. There's quite a few of them. There's even more, but I put the ones that I think were the most important, and I'm gonna read through them, and then we can discuss them. If you're in here, thank you. So, Erik ten HAG said he was talking about Garnacho Mano because he was talking with Gary Neville about the um the matching of the youth team setup with the first team setup and the integration that there was. And he said that they bring in the levels required, but we need more from such players because football is going very quickly. Developments are going quickly, so you can't stand still. You have to make new improvements all the time. And he's absolutely 110% correct. This is something that we actually um and some sort of a criticism towards the club because a lot of the times in the past, especially January transfer windows, when teams try to reinforce, when teams try to secure their position in the league halfway through the season, and Manchester United is not making a single signing for the manager in the middle of the season, while all the other teams are bringing in a player or two that can help them get to a certain league position. Um, we've stated that many times that you can't stand still. You have to make new improvements all the time, and that quote will go towards the summer as well, because the summer, Manchester United have to figure out how to do proper and good business. We cannot afford to slip up. We cannot afford to have a poor transfer window. We have fell behind. And if we don't get it right, we will fall further behind. I mean, Tottenham are a team that I'm keeping an eye close on. I think they play very good football, and I think it depends on what transfers they make. Now, if they get some high quality players, some good signings, they're going to look a lot more dangerous. That's a concern, because that's another team that now is fighting indefinitely for top four. We need to be in top four. Liverpool obviously are going to want to go for top four. Arsenal want top four, and Manchester City are always there. So you cannot stand still, and we need to be constantly making improvements. That goes for all aspects of the club at all times. Ten Hag also discussed the injuries. He discussed players that he wanted to get, and he made two very interesting statements that I thought were kind of just, it was a relief to hear him say it, because it was always speculation and many people don't believe it, and then other people do believe it, and it leads to this fighting in the fan base, which is not great, because we are already divided by a lot of opinions, because there's a lot of things that go on in Manchester United. But for example, when he said, he was talking about Rasmus Højlund and Harry Kane, and he said we had to make some choices. We have made some choices made with talents like Rasmus Højlund. I can see a striker, Kane, who already proved it, who we want to sign, and we couldn't get him. And then we went to Rasmus, and he's a talent. He then went on to say Ten Hag on whether Frankie de Jong would have allowed him to play more like he did at Ajax, and he said Frankie and Casemiro would have been very complimentary to play the Ajax style. You need this type of player. And I think this is very, very interesting stuff. Because it was more or so thought about in the fan base that we signed Casemiro because we couldn't get Frankie de Jong. But he, in fact, came out and told us, no, no, no. The plan was to get Frankie de Jong and Casemiro, play them both in the midfield, because they complement each other very well. Well, if that is the absolute case and the absolute truth, then then Erik ten Hag was set up to fail immediately, because we didn't get Frankie de Jong. We didn't get him Kane. So his initial plans went to absolute crap, and then therefore he had to switch his plans. On top of all the other things, the fact that we have all these injuries, which I'm going to get into a second, because he did mention that as well, amongst other things, I think, I mean, that to me was like a little bit eye-opening, because it was always the belief that we wanted Frankie, we couldn't get Frankie, so we got Casemiro. When in fact he's telling us, no, 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 the plan was to get both of them. I needed both those guys in our midfield. You wanted to see that same style at Ajax. Well, I'm telling you that we needed both these guys here, and we only got one, and we never got somebody that's at least similar to Frankie de Jong. That would be a plan B. We only had a plan A, and then that was it. That was it. And I think it was very, very interesting that he said that, because that was never reported. It was always reported that Frankie de Jong was the guy. Lionhearts is in here. What's up, Lionhearts? All right, big man. If actually glad we didn't get Frankie, what would happen to Mano? Yeah. Maybe listen, talents like Manu, maybe he wouldn't have played such a pivotal role. But I think when you're talented like Manu is, I think he still would have found a way to break in there. Plus, you never know. Look at all the injuries we have, right? And Frankie de Jong is a player that actually does suffer from some type of injuries. So the guy probably would have got injured with the way our season is going. He probably would have got injured at some point, and I think Kobe would have been there. But he probably wouldn't have played as many games, 100%. But still, we need that. I think we still need that. Like, I understand your concern. Oh, you said you're yeah, you said you're glad. Yeah, yeah. No, but what I'm saying is like we actually need players. We actually need that though. We need that though because if you look at it, it's like all right, we have Frankie Casemiro. Then you would have somebody like Manu. Well, then we wouldn't necessarily need maybe Scott McTominay or Amrabat or one of the other players that are technically bench players. You know, but I think listen, that was his plan. That was his plan, and he's telling us his plan obviously didn't go to plan, which happens a lot. But there's so many factors here to consider this guy when the club is being constantly just shitted on, when he's being shitted on. And there's a lot of things that go on that we don't necessarily get the answers to, which is why I'm saying I enjoyed that he did this long forum talk with Gary Neville because it allows him to explain more stuff. He also said some very interesting things over here. That's on the right hand side of the screen when and these three quotes go exactly together, right? Where he was asked about the like I guess the quality of player, and he said this club can only have exceptional players because the expectations are very high. Manchester United is the biggest, or maybe the second or third biggest club in the world with the biggest fan base, so the expectations will always be there. And then went on to say, that's players who have all the skill set. That is the physical and especially the mental skill set. They need to perform and contribute because we have to win every game. There's an expectation around every game from us, so you can only fulfill that expectation when you have those outstanding players. And then he also went on to say, so when everyone is fit, they can deliver the way we want to defend, but it also has something to do with the possession. When you don't have the players at the back and the patterns, when you don't have the left footed players on the left side, you already have to make your adjustments. And I think on those quotes, you know, this is something that we've been saying. Like, the guy doesn't have the players to play the way we thought he was going to play. On top of that, when you suffer a lot of injuries, he has a couple players. But when you suffer a lot of injuries and mainly to the first squad, that backup squad cannot fill the roles of certain players. Like, I do believe when Lisandro Martinez gets injured, there is no player to actually fill the role that Lisandro Martinez provides. He is a very important player, but we only have one of him. Even Casemiro, and even though Casemiro hasn't been great for past like few matches, 5, 6, or whatever it is, when he's not there, there's not really a player that can do the role Casemiro was doing, let's say last season, because he was great for us last season. When Luke Shaw is out, and I mean we don't even have a left back, but when Luke Shaw is out, there's no player playing at left back that can actually do a similar role or play a similar way to Luke Shaw. Even though Malacia, I kind of liked him and I thought he has some potential. Obviously, he has his own injury problems. Malacia playing on that left side is not the same when Luke Shaw is playing on that left side. There's many holes and gaps in this squad, and not getting the certain players. I mean, he even spoke on Rasmus the fact that Harry Kane. He wanted Harry Kane. Harry Kane is a proven goal scorer. Harry Kane scores you 30 goals a season guaranteed, which he scored some 40 odd in the Bundesliga for Bayern Munich this season. And you know that was the main guy that you were going to have lead the line. You couldn't get him. And then, so the next best available option was to go for somebody that's young, that has a high ceiling, that has high potential. But it's a totally different story. You're going from somebody that is guaranteeing you 30 goals to somebody that you have to develop. It's a totally different story, totally different plan. Lionheart saying, but Martial is back, 9 years, 63 Premier League goals. Yeah, but he's gonna be gone soon. I don't even know if he's gonna play, to be honest. Because Ten Hag did say that he did partial training, so it doesn't sound like he's 100% ready to go. Maybe he'll be on the bench. Hopefully he gets some minutes. I as a transfer decision, football transfer or football decision, right? He does have to go. You do have to let him go on a free, but I would like to see him get on the pitch. Maybe he could help us the last few games. Hopefully he has something to provide. For the last couple games. You never know. He could play in the FA Cup final. He could score the winning goal. As a nice, beautiful send off. That would be kind of cool. So at this point, we need as many players as possible to be as available as possible. At this point, I don't care who is available. I don't care if I want them at the club. I don't care if I want them to leave. They need to be available because we need as many players as possible to just at least try and finish the season strong. I mean, I know you were being sarcastic. I know, but I'm saying I'm saying in actuality, like I understand because I know. But I'm saying in actuality, like listen, Rasmus is playing every single game. There's no backup. There's no backup to Rasmus. Rasmus is probably exhausted. I mean, it's not it, there's nobody for him that you can't even sub him off correctly. I mean, last time we had Diallo up front, but how many times have we done that? He's been playing 90 minutes all the time. He's got all the responsibility and all the weight on his shoulders. And as we just discussed, even Ten Hag said it. This is a kid with high potential. I think he's done very good for his first season, but there's nobody there that's really been helping him out. He's had to take this all upon himself. Um, so even to just have Martial come on for 15 minutes, relieve some of the pressure off of Højlund maybe, and maybe provide something, maybe get a goal, maybe get an assist, create something, I don't know. This is where we are this season, but it's just we need every single player to be available. At this point, I don't care who it is. I really don't. I want Johnny Evans back. At one point, I was like, shit, I'd take Phil Jones if he was still around because we got Casemiro playing as center back. I don't know, but like, yeah, we need that. And I just wanted to touch on this one part here too, where he said, when everyone is available, we can form a very strong team that can compete with the best teams. And if we can turn a corner with the next transfer window, then we can reach the highest levels. We are confident of that. And that kind of goes with what I was just saying. Like, with this squad, he's telling us when everybody is available, we have a decent chance. When we start losing players, we don't have the squad for it. We don't have the squad. Line saying, but I wouldn't trust Martial to be backup to the kit man. He would probably forget the fucking kits. Nah. I get you. But this is the situation we're in. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing we can really do. Is Martial as a backup or no backup at all? And at that point, I'm gonna say, listen, if the guy can give us 10 minutes, the guy gives us 10 minutes, and I'm hoping he gives us something in those 10 minutes. If he could give us 15 minutes, so be it. Because we've been falling apart all over the place this season. I was ready for him to go. I was prepared to not see him play another game. I didn't think he would make it back by the end of the season. I thought he was absolutely done. And he's back. So he's back and listen, beggars can't be choosers. We are in a situation that we are not we are not on top of the world right now. We are very desperate for points, for results, for performances. We're even in a situation where we're looking at, now we're fighting for Europa League. Because I really don't want, as much as I don't want to be in Europa League, I don't want to be in the Conference League. I don't want to watch Manchester United play Conference League. Please, God, somebody help us. Help these players. because I do not want to see that. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to hear the banter from being in the Conference League. I don't want it. I don't want it. These guys need to figure out how to finish strong, win the cup, get into the position. Hopefully, the teams in front of us drop some points. I mean, Newcastle won 4-0 today. It's not a good result for us. Tottenham haven't been looking great, though. They have some tough matches. They got to still play City. So hopefully they could drop some points and we can sneak in there. But we need to perform. We need to perform. Line saying to us, mate, I was so excited when he arrived. FIFA 13, he was the best cheap. Buy 56, starting with the potential of 97. Crazy. Oh, you big FIFA player too? I was there. I was there for that. I quit this year. Probably right around team of the year. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. It's such a bad game, and it breaks my heart because I love football games and I want to play football games. But EA are a terrible, terrible, terrible company. And that goal against Liverpool, yeah, I mean, he definitely had a lot of potential, and it's kind of sad that the way his time at the club kind of went. We had a lot of high expectations for him, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately, and he suffered a lot of injuries, and he wasn't able to progress, which is it's always sad when you have a player that comes to your club, and that happens to, and it happens to many players. I mean, he's not the only one. But it is what it is. That's football. It's a cruel and beautiful another Makeda. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful sport, but it's also a very, very cruel sport. It's very cutthroat. It's very cutthroat. Um, you know, somebody I always have a soft spot for is Owen Hargreaves, or Hargreaves, however you want to pronounce his name. I thought that guy was exceptionally very, very good. And it was very, very unfortunate with all the injuries he suffered, and he had to retire early and all of that. And that one always hurts me the most. Um, you know, I always thought he was excellent. I just want to move on real quick. I'm gonna go to what Sir Jim and Inio said. This is just it's a little thing. It's not anything crazy, but so here you can see Ratcliffe rages at disgraceful Manchester United facilities. So there was a leaked email, right, that came out, or there was two leaked emails, and one of them was about Sir Jim emailing the entire staff at Manchester United about the cleanliness and tidiness at Manchester United. So Sir Jim Ratcliffe, co-owner of Manchester United, criticized the cleanliness and the order of the club's Old Trafford Stadium and Carrington training facilities in leaked emails sent to staff. He described one area as a disgrace and criticized the state of the U18 and U21 changing rooms, which I am all here for, and I'm going to get to that in a second as to why this, even though it's not like going to break the internet in terms of news, I still think is very, very important, and I'm going to explain why. On top of that, Sir Jim said it was unacceptable for an elite sporting organization to fail to maintain the highest levels of cleanliness and order, and that it gave a bad impression, which is 100% true. 100% true. And then this is a excerpt, the white box here is an excerpt from the email that was leaked that Sir Jim said, I had a good tour around some of the facilities. I am afraid I was struck in many places by a high degree of untidiness, in particular with the IT department, which frankly was a disgrace, and the dressing rooms of the U18 and U21 were not much better. These standards would not come close to what we would expect at Ineos, and we are a chemical company. Manchester United is an elite sporting organization. It's a small thing in many ways, but unless an organization has standards and discipline, it will not succeed. I would be grateful in future if we adopt the proper standards of housekeeping everywhere. It reflects poorly on the club if we have visitors, young players, parents, new players, and the media, and they see we don't care enough to keep things ship shape. Now, I want to talk about this because I think everything that was just said there, and I said this, and many people have stated this, the standards of this club start at the top, Manchester Evening News. I believe it was. I don't want to put them on there, but I believe it was. I just wanted the excerpt. I just wanted the words. I think it was Manchester Evening News though, or yeah. But the reason I wanted to discuss this is because we've said there's many people, including myself, that have stated the standards at any successful business, organization, entity, and football club. They start at the top and they go all the way down, and it transfers onto the pitch. And something as small as that, just cleanliness and tidiness, every fiber and inch of this club, right, has to be exceptional if you want to be the best. There is no in between, there is nothing. If you want greatness, every single detail is important. So things like just cleanliness and tidiness, little details, these details matter. And the fact that your gym is calling this out is very important because it shows that he doesn't care if it's a chip on the wall in terms of paint. Every single detail matters. Everything must be exceptional. This is what breeds success. This is what provides an environment for exceptionalism. Gaz is telling us Ten Hag is awful. Gaz, explain yourself in the chat. I'm going to keep talking and then we'll get back to you. Now, let me switch back over to here. When Sir Jim says it was unacceptable for an elite sporting organization to fail to maintain the highest levels of cleanliness and order, and it gives a bad impression, it 110% does. And that's why this is actually very important to me, because it shows me the indication that this guy, there is no messing about with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He is 100% serious, and he 100% means business. And he is not letting any shit slide. There's no shit sliding at all. I think Manchester United was being run overly incompetently gross. I think people were showing up probably half-assing their jobs. Not giving 100%. And it's not really the employees' fault per se as much as the people above them, because you need it starts at the top. The leader that's leading the employees, you need to set the examples by standard. I used to work for somebody, right? This guy owned like 4 franchise stores. This guy would come to the store and he would start working in the store for like 3-4 hours, and he would show everybody how to do the things he wanted to do and all this. But he would walk in and be one of the workers, and the way that he wanted things done, and the way he knew that things should be done, he did them. And he was in the store with us, leading by example. He didn't have to do that. He had managers, he had assistant managers. He didn't need to do that. He did it because it was important to him, because he understood the role of leading the people that you employ. He could have just went golfing, sat at home, pop up at the store for 20 minutes, collect his money or whatever, he had to do, and then leave. Which is kind of what I feel like the Glazers were doing. They're never there. They don't have anything to do with like what's running in the club. They had their CEO doing everything, and they barely checked up on it. And all they did was just take their money out and then go worry about something else. Whereas Sir Jim is literally living there, pretty much. And since this is now his house, he expects everything to be absolutely exceptional. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about, and then we could probably do a free-for-all if anybody wants to get involved. If you're here, thank you. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, turn on notifications. We appreciate you. And get involved in the live chat. Lion just here, stealing the show. Just having, a wise man once said, they just eat their prawn salad sandwiches. I mean, yeah. I like that. I like that. I'm not familiar with that quote actually. Who said that? What wise man? Who said that? Who said that? I want to know. Tell me. I'm not gonna pretend like I know who said that. Cantona. He said that. I kind of figured that was Cantona. It sounded like Cantona would say something like that. he uh he loves actually Cantona made a he said something, I think it was today or yesterday, where he said that if Manchester United was ever renamed, I mean not Manchester United, if Old Trafford was ever renamed um something else, right? And like the Spotify New Camp or one of these brand whatever. Eric Cantona literally said that he would quit supporting Manchester United and he would quit football. He said you can never do that. And I love him for that, but also I think that's actually very important he said that, because as far as I know, Sir Jim is actually a very big Eric Cantona fan. So I think if Eric Cantona is saying that, I think now Sir Jim definitely wouldn't want to do that to him as well. So I think yeah, cuz I don't want that. I want it to be named Old Trafford. I want the name to stay as Old Trafford. But there was a couple player transfer rumors, especially a Mason Greenwood update that came today. So Manchester United are eyeing Elise Rabiot, Frimpong, and Roque in summer transfers. We are actively pursuing Elise from Crystal Palace, Adrian Rabiot from Juventus, Frimpong from Leverkusen, and Vitor Roque from Barcelona, with Elise being a top priority. The club is also open to evaluating bids from Anthony, not Martial, Anthony the Brazilian, and Mason Greenwood. Now, and then you could see here, ESPN said it. Another source team talked. There was also Manchester Evening News and The Athletic had some things to say. On top of that, Mason Greenwood updates. So there's one at the top, one at the bottom. Manchester United and Getafe have begun talks regarding the possibility of a new loan deal for Mason Greenwood. United would prefer to secure a permanent move for him, but a loan would also be considered if an acceptable fee is not received. And then they went on to say that the possibility of Mason Greenwood being reintegrated into Manchester United's first team squad this summer is also not being ruled out, which is kind of interesting. That those things are being said. Now, there was actually further updates which I need to go and bring up for you guys, because they did mention a couple more things. Shortly after that. Can't find. But yeah, I think the whole Greenwood thing is I think that's just United posturing a bit. They seem to be doing this a lot more now, which I actually think is it's smart. They are trying to get rid of players, but they're trying to maintain some level of power in negotiations. They are trying to not seem desperate to needing to get rid of players to get rid of cash, to get cash, because when there's a player and it's like, oh, we don't want him, or he's dead, like to the squad, like Deadwood, um teams are gonna come from him. They're not gonna want to pay top dollar. They're gonna be like, you don't even want him. You know what I mean? He's not even an important player. So it seems like they're posturing a little bit like, listen, yeah, we got this guy, and we are open to selling him, and we've set our price, and we don't want to accept anything below the price, because we think that's what his value is. At the same time, if you guys think that his value is not the value that we are requesting, we have no problem either loaning him out again, no problem at all, or in fact, we actually aren't even completely against bringing him back into our squad. Um, and I think that's just them posturing to try and get the deal over the line. Lion Hearts is saying Rabiot should stay away if Conor Gallagher is available. Why the frick not? Greenwood would fix a lot of our problems. And then also went on to say Gallagher, Mainu, Mount, midfield. Oof. Conor Gallagher. I don't know. I can't really say I have too much of an opinion on Conor Gallagher, to be honest, but I will look into that now that you said Conor Gallagher. I never really looked at him. And I never really considered him. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Um I'm not really in favor of Rabio. So I would probably say I would probably lean more towards a Conor Gallagher. I'm not a fan of Rabio. I don't like it's not even his style of play. I don't like his agent mother. I think a lot of like extra baggage comes with this guy. I think there's a lot of like drama with him. There's been drama in the past, and I for that reason that questions it makes me question his attitude. We already have like too much of that crap going on at the club. We don't need that. That is something that we've talked about in the past. That we need the right attitude, the right mentality. They also have to be a very well-rounded person. Now obviously I don't know Rabio personally. Maybe he's the nicest guy and his mom is just a psychopath agent, you know what I mean? Looking out for her son. I don't know personally. Obviously there's stories out there, but he could be the nicest guy, he could be a complete dickhead. Um and a toxic fucking person that you don't want at the club or around any of the players. Like, you don't want that around Kobe Mainu. You don't want it around Garnacho. You don't want these players to pick up these bad influences. Um, for sure. Now, Frimpong, for me, there wasn't like a huge update in Frimpong. It just said that we've stepped up, or the interest has intensified a little bit more. That's why I didn't put it in here. But for me, I would absolutely get Frimpong. I think Frimpong is absolutely great. I think it's what we need. I think he would fit the Premier League very well in terms of attacking output going forward. And the last time I seen that he has a buyout clause for I think it was either 30, 35, or 40 million, which for me is an absolute steal considering what we paid for Aaron Wan-Bissaka and the high difference in attacking output that Frimpong provides. Um, and also I think in terms of what he provides without that release clause, I think Frimpong would be being sold for way higher. I think he'd probably be going for like 60 mil. Um, so I think if we could get that, that would be absolutely fantastic for me. I would definitely go and get Frimpong. And also if you move on Aaron Wan-Bissaka and you can get 20, 30 million for Wan-Bissaka, you're basically covering the you're almost getting Frimpong for almost free. You're basically getting him for nothing if that's the case, which I think would be very very would be very very good business for us. It would we're getting a very good quality player and we're getting him for basically almost nothing. Um and then just don't give him crazy stupid wages, make him earn the wages, give him incentives. That's how we used to operate. It's one thing that I've hated about this club for the past 11, 12, whatever, how many years it's been. It's that, okay, a player might be performing well at another club somewhere else in Europe, but as soon as we bring him in, we double to triple his wages. Why? What has this player done in a Manchester United shirt? Because they had one good season at another club or two good seasons. It's not a player that we're bringing in that had 10 excellent seasons, won everything. Jadon Sancho's wage, absolutely ridiculous. Why? Why would you do that? The guy was earning like 100,000 something a week, and we gave him 300 and whatever 25,000. Why? Why? Um, Line saying he's spot on. Passing, attacking, tactical awareness. Look, Fernandez is going to have lots of injuries next year. You think so? You think so? Because he hasn't. That guy, I don't know what his body is made out of, but this guy does not. He has injuries, but it doesn't stop him from playing, which is crazy. But he's played so much this year and last year with little to no rest since the World Cup. Well, that's actually something that I do get kind of that's something that I do get kind of concerned with Bruno, because it's just like it's almost impossible that Bruno Fernandes does not suffer a major injury. He has literally played like every single game. 90 minutes, doesn't get subbed, goes plays for Portugal. Um, it, it's literally impossible that this guy has not sustained some type of a long term injury. Every single player gets it, and he has not gotten it yet. And I hope he doesn't get it. But it's just it's kind of crazy that he doesn't get injured like that. And I hope, actually, Lion, I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. Because I don't want to see he's going to break. It's unavoidable. Yeah. I feel that way too. But I hope you're wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't. But in all likelihood, um, you know, it has to lean that way. It's literally impossible. Yeah, I know you hope you're wrong too. You're just stating, what's obvious. It's the facts. I mean, we are actually very, very lucky that that has not happened to him this season, considering we've had. And something I forgot to bring in here was, you know, um, we had 30 different center back combinations in 47 games. We've had over 65 injuries this season. We are very lucky that Bruno Fernandes hasn't been one of them, because as much as people complain, he loses the ball and this and that. The guy at the same time also creates the most chances, and he is highly. We need him. This squad needs him. Whether you think he's good enough or not, this squad right now is not good enough, right? But this squad needs him, which shows you where the squad is. And we are very lucky that he did not suffer a major injury, because we would be kind of screwed, definitely, with everything that we had, you know. And I wanted to mention, yeah. So this is, and that was things that Ten Hag covered over, 30 center back combinations in 47 games. That is mental. With over 60 cases of injuries this season, defensive injuries massively impacted the tactics, the style of play, with Licha and Shaw being out. Um, you know, uh, Ten Hag even was talking about how Nana was signed to allow us to play out from the back. Um, but obviously, when you have the injuries that you do, this is what I wanted to say. I think attacking wise, I have to look at the stats because I don't know the number of goals we scored, because the goal difference is obviously like one, but we've shipped so many goals this season. But that's solely for the fact of that we've had so many injuries. I said this on online on X, and like somebody tried to laugh at me, and I was just like, I'm stating a fact. Like, you cannot perform to the highest level when your back line is like a merry-go-round. It's impossible. Where's this stability coming from? Where's the partnerships? Where's the you have to have a strong defense to compete at the highest level in the Premier League, in the Champions League, in whatever. There's no way. And the fact that we've had all these players injured is why we're shipping a lot of goals. It's just there's no stability, there's no continuity, there's none of that. That affects everything. It affects absolutely everything. Um, and I think it actually kind of sucks that we suffered all of these defensive injuries, a lot of them, because the front line hasn't been affected too much. I think the front line was like normal, regular injuries, right? But the back line, and then even at times in the season, the midfield, the injuries that we sustained. I mean, it is clear as day as to why we have absolutely gone backwards this season and why we have absolutely struggled. It's just you know, how you supposed to anybody that had the injuries we've had would be in the position 52 goals for and 51 against. All right, and lines, thank you for that. If you could, what how many goals did we score last season? Cuz that's what I wanted to check. I wanted to see how many goals we scored this season and how many goals we scored, because obviously last season I know that De Gea won Golden Glove award, and our defense was very, very excellent. We struggled to score goals, and I kind of feel like this season we've improved on the goal scoring front from last season, but obviously the whole defensive injuries and all of that has hurt us, and it looks bad with the +1 goal difference that we have, obviously. But I'll probably search that up too. Being lazy. uh, Also, it's hard to keep the flow of the show. But yeah, I think get in the chat. What do you guys think about this on the screen here? Rabio. Would you want Rabio? Elise is interesting because I think Elise actually is very would you say 58 for, 43 against? Oh wow. So we actually, and we well technically we did play, and thank you Lion for that. I appreciate it. So technically, now I wonder because I think we played more games last year. I'm not mistaken. Not mistaken. So, maybe a slight improvement. Slight improvement, I would say. Um, he had 43 against us. That's not even that much more than what we have right now, which is kind of crazy. I mean, we still have matches to. Oh, that's just the Premier League. All right. Still, but league statistics they count, right? It's in our position for the league. It affects the league. I like Elise. I seen a lot of people mentioning his injury record, which isn't even like really extensive, but it's a little bit concerning because of his hamstring injuries. He's had two back-to-back hamstring injuries, and um they have been for extensive periods of time. Let me see if I could. I just want to pull it up here so I could accurately tell you guys. So he never really got injured. He had an inflammation of the sole of the foot in from April 1st, 2022 to April 13th, 2022, which was not. He missed 2 matches for that, which is nothing, right? But then he suffered a hamstring injury in June 26th, 2023. And he was out until November 8th, 2023. So from his hamstring injury, the first one that he ever suffered, he missed 13 matches and he was out for 135 days, which is crazy for a hamstring injury. Then the second one he suffered was February 3rd, 2024, and he was out till April 3rd, 2024, missing 8 matches for Crystal Palace and out for 60 days, which I still think is a lengthy time for hamstring injuries. It's a month. I mean, it's like 4 weeks, but the first one is ridiculous. 135 days for a hamstring injury. Now, other than that, he doesn't really have um other than that, he doesn't really have any other significant injuries. It wasn't like players that we bought in the past. But that is kind of a concern. We just gotta watch that because you don't want him to keep getting the hamstring injuries. Somehow we gotta fix it. And as Lion says here, um, seems like our medical department isn't the best. Which yes. And I don't think it's necessarily even. I was trying to make this argument last time. I don't even necessarily think it's like the actual physios themselves. I think it's the way the medical department is set up and ran. I think we are not analyzing player data correctly, and I don't think we're doing the sports science correctly. Um, which is leading to a lot of injuries because I think the physios, in terms of just doing like the regular job, I think they're doing those okay. I think it's the data that is letting uh the club down in that terms, and the fact of which is leading to more and more injuries. Also, I don't think these players are. I don't think a lot of these players can handle um playing the way that Ten Hag is trying to play, which is also leading to injuries. Which is why we need to move a lot of these players on, get in different players, and also just fix basically everything at the club. It's very, very concerning. Just gonna check before because we're probably gonna end it. We've been on long enough, 50 minutes. I just want to check to see if there's anything that's come out in the last couple minutes. Uh, Ten Hag has Ten Hag is of interest. This is coming from Time Sport. Ten Hag is of interest from Bayern Munich. Bayern and Ajax are waiting to see if he becomes available. Well, I'll tell you this right now. If we get rid of Ten Hag to get in Thomas Tuchel and Ten Hag goes to Bayern Munich, I will be absolutely livid. Absolutely livid. I don't want Thomas Tuchel, and I just feel like it would look so bad and look so stupid to swap Ten Hag for Tuchel and have Ten Hag go to Bayern, and then I would probably have to watch Ten Hag probably do good at Bayern because Bayern are run way better than us, even though they haven't been great in the last like 1 or 2 seasons, and they've done some stupid decisions like firing Nagelsmann for Tuchel. Um, I I would question everything if this happens. And I think it's just a lot of nonsense. Uh, the media is just going crazy with this story. They're linking Ten Hag to places. They're linking managers to United. They won't stop. Um, but if that thing becomes a reality, because that's just paper talk and rumors, if it becomes a reality, I will lose my absolute shit. 110%. I will lose my absolute shit because I think that would just make us look so stupid. Lions is telling everybody power slap that like button, people, please. Thank you. Um, if you tuned in, greatly appreciate it. It took me some time to put this together, like an hour, whatever. I'm gonna try. I was busy in the past couple days. So I'm gonna try and stay on top of this because I actually wanted to do this when this came out. I just didn't have the time. I was busy with some other stuff that I had to do and take care of. Obviously, we're playing on Monday, bank holiday in the UK, I believe. Um, so we're playing Monday. Probably gonna do a um a pre-match show. Uh, Most likely tomorrow. Should be good, and I think we'll probably get some news tomorrow. It seems like today is a slow day for United News. A lot of the news came out yesterday. Today seems kind of slow. I mean, we might get some in the next hour or so. So, because usually they put it around that time. But if we don't, if it's not anything crazy, like the manager being sacked or something, which isn't gonna happen, but yeah, then we will we will be there. So I'm probably gonna do a match preview. The match preview, I think I'll just do a pre-record and make it short, maybe like 10 minutes or something. So if you tune in to watch that, I greatly appreciate that. Lines saying for once, never made sense. He said we need to integrate a new leadership team and then also a new manager. Doesn't make sense. Actually, Gary Neville did also then come out and say after the interview with Ten Hag, which I completely lost um where that was, but he did make some sort of a statement, which was basically like he said that he thinks we should give Ten Hag another year, which he kind of turned it around on what he was saying previously. Here it is. Um, Gary Neville did say, I think to have another year with Erik Ten Hag under a stable environment would hopefully mean the club can be successful under the same manager. The fan sentiment seems that they want him to stay. Yeah, he still has the majority backing of United fans, and this was actually a very good period. We're not playing till Monday. They can't ruin our weekend if they decide that they don't want to play, right? But it was a good space in between, and he did this interview, and I think the way he did the interview, he doesn't seem like a man that feels like or knows that he's not going to be here next season. So I think he's confident that he's going to be here. I think, we don't know what's actually going on behind the scenes. We don't know the discussions they've actually had. Maybe he's confident because of those things. So, I mean, there's a lot of things, but I'm now that I get to calm down from the performances, from the piss poor performances from the players and just the squad in general. Um, we need to keep this guy here, and he needs to go into next season, one more season. And we need to see the improvement in there. I think he deserves that much. I think 2 seasons would be too short. I think, um, I think 2 seasons would be too short for sure. And yeah, he just needs more time. And we need to get the players right. We need the recruitment to get sorted. So I think I think it would be very very good. Martial back in team training. We golden mate. Hey, listen. We need something, Lions. We need something. We need anything. We need to take whatever we can get, dude. We need to take whatever we can get at this point. I know. I know. I don't. Listen. I gave up on Martial a while ago. Um, since he couldn't stay fit. But dude, we're clutching at straws right now. Here, let's just put it this way. Right? Let me look at the table real quick. And internet, if you want to work, please work. Thank you. So we're in seventh, right? Chelsea are right behind us. 3 points behind us. They're in eighth. We are under Newcastle, but Newcastle played one more game than us. So they are currently at 56 points. We have 54 points. Tottenham have 60. We need to play. We need to win so we could get 57, jump back above Newcastle. To be honest, I'm gonna say I don't want I don't want Conference League. So if we don't finish in fifth, then I'd rather finish in seventh. And just skip sixth. And we need to play Newcastle. Oh my god. And we need to play Newcastle. That's right. Yes, we have to play. So we're playing Palace Monday. Then we have to play Arsenal. We're at Old Trafford. And we have to play Newcastle. And we're at Old Trafford. And then we have to play Brighton away for the last game of the Premier League season. And then of course we have City in the FA Cup final. Wow. That's we would defo win the convenience. Oh, the conference league? Yeah, but I don't want to see. Come on, who are we gonna be playing in the conference league? Like Rosenborg or something? I don't even. I can't even pronounce the names. I can't even tell you the teams that are in that conference. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it. I definitely don't want that. I would. I would much prefer. Say yeah no. Uh, no, I would much prefer to be in Europa League or just not be in it. Take a page out of Arsenal's book, right? They didn't. They were out of Europe. Um, maybe it'd be better for us. We suffer a lot of injuries. Maybe the players will be more rested and we suffer less injuries and we could perform better locally. you know. But don't we have Arsenal? No, yeah. It's gonna be very tough, but that's what I'm saying. Listen, you got what, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 league matches and an FA Cup final. You got 5 matches. Show up, play the hardest you can play, and perform the hardest you can. This is what I'm saying. This even though we are not where we want to be and where we need to be competing, is still very important. And these players need to show up, and they need to perform, and they need to play to the highest level they possibly can, and they need to get the results. I for me, it's very important. I'd rather be in the Europa League than in the Conference League. It also helps Manchester United financially if we're in some sort of Europe. I just don't personally want to watch us in the Conference League. So I'd rather have us be in the Europa League, get the money, and at least, all right, deal with Europa League for a season. You know what I mean? But I think we're gonna end it there. Lion, much appreciated. We missed you in the chat, so it was good to have you back. I wish a couple more people got involved. We need more. We need more lions in here. We need more lions in here. There's too many. There's too many koalas. Too many koalas just sleeping on the branch, just watching the show. We need more lions in here. We need people to get in here and talk it up. But lions just need another just need another 11 to turn up. Yeah. um. But thank you everybody that tuned in. Thank you to everybody that smashed the like button. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you for everybody that is a subscriber already. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We greatly appreciate you. Couple people missing from our usual live chat, but that's because that's probably all my fault. I need to learn how to schedule the show prior to hand so that it's there so that people don't miss it. Which I messed up on that. I already did all the details for the show before I did it, and then I didn't feel like redoing it. But on the next one, I will have it scheduled so it'll be there so people can actually know that we are going to be doing a show. But this has run on long enough. Enjoy the rest of your Saturdays. Be safe. Stay smart. Need a time, man. We need a couple things. We need a couple things. We need a couple things. But thank you everybody that tuned in. Thank you for everybody that has been here. Thank you to everybody that liked the show. Thank you for all the people that keep coming back. Thank you for the people that watch this after it's gone live. You're still important too. And if you have something to say, you could always say it down in the comments. Line, he's in the live chat. He's in the comments after the show is aired. He's all there. Discussion's always going on. We always respond to everybody as long as it's not something that's hateful, harmful, or you have to have some insight. And we will definitely always respond. Other than that, take care, everybody. We'll catch you later, Lion. I'll catch you later. We will do Red Devil recap, of course, and then probably that's for Monday, and then Sunday we'll have something going tomorrow. So we'll be back, discuss a couple topical things, and make it a little bit short. But other than that, we'll catch you later. Be good, everybody.